We've all been there. You see her and she looks absolutely amazing. And all you want to do is go up and talk to her, start a conversation, connect with her. But you don't, because your brain throws every single excuse under the sun at you. What if she thinks I'm weird? What if I ruin her day? What if I get rejected? What if people around her judge me? What if I embarrass myself? And just like that, another opportunity is gone forever. And you're probably never going to get another opportunity to meet this girl again. But here's the thing, that fear, that anxiety that's holding you back from having the connections with women that you want, it's completely fake, fabricated in your mind. In this video, I'm gonna help you break free of that fear forever so you can become the most socially free, expressive, fearless version of yourself. So if you're ready to remove approach anxiety completely from your life and start meeting and connecting with the women that you want, this video is exactly what you need. Let's get into it. Approach anxiety has killed more men's dating life than anything else out there. Approach anxiety is the #1 killer of men's success with women. It's the most common reason why men never even try to improve their dating lives. But the craziest part is, it's completely irrational. Cold approach is similar to playing roulette. It's like you have this roulette wheel in front of you, and if you spin the wheel, if you win, then you win, say, $10,000. But if you lose nothing. There is no downside at all. So you either win or you don't win, in which case you just spin again. Sure, you might need to spin a certain amount of times before you do win, but it is inevitable that if you spin it enough times, you will eventually win. And there is no downside when it comes to spinning as many times as you want. And that's kind of what cold approach is like. You can't remove the element of luck from the equation. And the more people that you do approach, the more likely you are to meet someone that you resonate with. And the biggest difference between roulette and cold approach is that with cold approach, with each approach you make, your odds of winning improve. This is because over time, you improve your social skills and your social calibration and your ability to move interactions forward, and you get better at having conversations, which over time means that if you continue spinning, you just become more likely to win with each successive spin. Given that you can only win and there is no downside, and you're only going to improve your chances of winning with each successive spin, why the hell are you not spinning? What, to avoid a moment of awkwardness? A rejection from a stranger who won't even remember what you look like the next day? That's right, most men, we ruin our own lives purely to avoid momentary discomfort. The truth is, we all do feel it. Every man feels some level of approach anxiety when it comes to cold approach. And considering cold approach is by far the best way for us to improve our dating lives and meet the kind of women that we actually want, overcoming approach anxiety is one of the biggest hurdles that men have to face if they do want to start dating the kind of girls that they want. And that's really what I want to do in this video. I want to help us get over this massive hurdle so that you can start going for what you want. Meeting women, connecting with women, improving your social skills, building core confidence. These are the kind of benefits that you're going to get if you can finally just overcome this hurdle that is holding you back. Now, I really want to make a point, and that's that you, my friend, are allowed to talk to whoever you want, whenever you want. The world is a safe, free, and friendly place. These restrictions that you've put on yourself, they've been created by you and completely overblown in your mind. We no longer live in the 1800s where you get whipped on the streets for approaching a duke's daughter. The majority of the world now lives in a relatively free society. And that means you, my friend, are allowed to exercise your human right to free speech and expression. All of these wild scenarios you create in your mind literally never happen. If you approach in a polite and socially calibrated manner, the vast majority of women are going to be incredibly friendly and happy to have a chat. And once you remove these blocks stopping you from talking to the people that you want, then the world is completely open to you. Unlocking that level of social freedom is one of the most liberating experiences that you can have as a social organism. And that principle of gaining social freedom is one of the backbones of what we want to share on this channel. Because coming to this realization that I'm allowed to talk to whoever I want and the world is completely open to me was one of the most liberating experiences that I've ever had in my life. There is nothing I want to share more with you today than this level of liberation and freedom. Everyone is capable of achieving it. And the world, again, is a friendly and open place. You'd be very surprised. So let's break down why you feel this fear so we can start to move past it. Number one is the fear of rejection. What if she doesn't like me? Well, here's the truth. Rejection is completely inevitable. If you're a man, rejection is a part of life. There isn't a single guy out there, no matter how rich, famous, attractive, charismatic, who hasn't been rejected. But the difference is, the guys who win are the ones who don't let it affect them. Most guys treat rejection like it's an attack on their character or self-worth. In reality, all it is a stranger saying, no thanks. It really doesn't need to be a bigger deal than it is. See, a girl rejecting you doesn't make you any less attractive. Just like a girl being into you doesn't make you any more attractive. You, my friend, are the exact same person before, during, and after the approach, no matter what the outcome was. So you need to stop treating people's responses like they mean anything about you, and instead just start taking it as feedback, because that's all it is in the end. The guys who do good, they're the ones who take on the feedback and use it as an opportunity to improve themselves. Whereas the guys who lose are the ones who take that feedback and take it personally and think it is a direct attack on them, and then they stop approaching, or they use it as an excuse to stop putting themselves in situations that make them uncomfortable. No matter which guy you are, rejection is inevitable. It just comes down to how you decide to handle it. But as a final note on the side of rejection, you wouldn't give a stranger access to your bank account. So why are you letting strangers dictate how you should feel about your own self-worth? I'm just saying, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's feedback. Don't feel personally attacked by this feedback. Just use it as an opportunity to learn and improve. And the more you can detach yourself from rejection and stop taking things personally, the easier this entire journey is going to become. Number two, you think you're ruining her day. Thinking, oh, I don't want to be a burden, or I'm probably interrupting her, I don't want to be annoying. Let me ask you this. If a girl came up to you and told you how attractive you are, would this be a positive or a negative experience? Regardless of how you felt about her, it would probably still be quite a positive experience. So why are you assuming approaching a woman is automatically going to be a negative experience for her? Most of the time, when you're approaching a girl, you're giving her a compliment and an exciting new experience to meet a new person. Most girls see this as quite a positive thing. If you look at stats, most women wish they were approached by more guys. Most men will never have the balls to do this. So if you do have the testicular fortitude in order to approach women, you're already standing out in the best way possible compared to most of the population. You're not a burden. You're a man who's giving value. And the worst case, even if she's not into you, you're still giving her a compliment. You're sharing value with the world. You're improving her day. Now, sure, if you do approach enough women, at some point or another, you're going to run into someone who is a bit of a shit. But that's just part of life. You can't remove luck from the equation. The vast majority of women will be positive and appreciative of you approaching them. So don't let that 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 negative reaction stop you from going for what you want and making someone's day. Number three is overthinking and perfectionism. What if I don't say the perfect thing? Bro, there is no perfect thing to say. There is no magical opening line that's going to have a 100% success rate, and there is no such thing as perfect timing. You don't need the stars to align in order to approach someone. What you need to do is just go for it. See, this is one of the most important mindsets that we teach on our programs, and that is going for it. Because there is no such thing as perfectionism, the more we procrastinate because we want to have the perfect thing to say, the perfect timing, the perfect line, whatever it might be, the more opportunities we're going to miss out on. You can only do the best you can in that moment and nothing else. So the most important thing is just going for it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to happen. Now, this is a really common anxiety that guys have because everyone wants to be able to have the perfect opener, say the perfect things. And most guys feel a little lost when it comes to what to say, how to approach, etc. And that's what we teach here at Social Freedom, is exactly what to do in order to have the highest possible chance of meeting someone and bringing them into your life. So On our coaching programs, we teach our step-by-step process that takes you from going from meeting someone all the way to bringing her into your life, taking her home, whatever it is your goal is. And that is what we teach on our programs. But we also have a lot of information on this channel already on how to approach someone in the most calibrated manner possible. Now, even if you're not necessarily looking for coaching and you just want some general guidelines as well, there's heaps of free information out there. Now, obviously, putting things together on your own is much harder, and I've seen a lot of guys waste years of their lives trying to figure it out themselves, but some people absolutely do make it, just the vast majority don't. I would say, however, the best way to avoid that early stage of learning cold approach where you're putting in the most effort and getting the least reward is to get some form of formal coaching. And that's why our clients see so much success in such a short period, because we do teach the most optimized process of meeting and bringing people into your life. Now, the beauty of cold approach is that with every approach you make, you are building a repertoire of social interactions. And because of this, you just inherently will improve the more comfortable you get in social interactions and the more you build your social intelligence and conversational skills, etc. So the beauty is, the more you do it, the better you get and the more likely you will be of turning each approach that you make into a connection. It's as simple as that. And in the end, if you just keep it as simple as you make enough approaches, you are inevitably going to meet someone that you resonate with. And it is inevitable that you will bring someone into your life. So even if you aren't really focusing on improving your social skills, if you approach enough people, there is going to be someone who says yes. So even at the most basic level possible, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have the perfect timing. You don't need the perfect thing to say. You just have to go for it and make opportunities for yourself, my friend. Number 4 is worrying about what others might think. What if someone judges me? Here's a bit of a hard truth to swallow, and that's that no one truly cares about you, except for maybe, if you're lucky, your mum. People are inherently narcissistic and worry almost entirely about themselves, which means that no matter what you do or how much you embarrass yourself, very quickly, everyone around you is just going to forget about it because they're just too worried about themselves. Think about it this way. If you saw a random guy dancing on the street, would you really be thinking about it a week later? Would you even remember what that guy's face looked like if you were to walk past him on the street again and if he wasn't dancing? Probably not. And the same applies to you. People are too busy worrying about themselves to give a about what you're doing. They just go back to worrying about, oh, when do I have to go to work tomorrow? What should I eat tonight? I need to finish X assignment at work. Or even, I wonder if I would have the courage to do that. Stop letting the imaginary opinions of others stop you from living the life that you want, because again, no one really cares. And in 100 years, everything that anyone thought about you or believed will have completely been lost to time, and everyone you know will be dead. So why not just live life the way you want to and talk to the people that you want and express yourself the way that you want? Because in reality, there are no consequences. Now, after making tens of thousands of approaches myself and coaching hundreds of clients in person, the most common reaction that people give you when they see you approach someone is, are you ready for this? Huh. And then they keep living their lives and forget all about it. Now, let me tell you a quick story. When I was 22, there was a cyclone up in North Queensland. Now, I was down on the Gold Coast, but we had some pretty crazy weather on the Gold Coast that weekend. One of the days, I was sitting on my balcony and I watched a crackhead strip butt naked and try to swim in a puddle out the front of my house. Now, I literally watched this dude strip naked and try to swim in a puddle. I'll tell you what, if that man walked past me tomorrow wearing a suit, there is absolutely zero chance that I would recognize him. Even if he walked past me as a crackhead, I still wouldn't recognize what he looked like, because guess what? In the end, I just went back to worrying about what I was doing. Now, I'm not saying you should be stripping butt naked in the street, but I am trying to make a point that no one in the end really cares or even will recognize you in the long run. People just worry about themselves. Another funny story for you. When I was in Bulgaria, I was in this really nice apartment, but across the road from our apartment was a construction site. And one day, Alex comes into my room and he says, "Oi bro, you want to see something really funny?" And I'm like, okay, sure, let's see. We go out to our living room and we have a direct line of sight to the construction site across the road from us. What do I know? There is a full grown-ass man masturbating over the road. Now, he can't see us looking at him, but he is having a proper crack, like going at it, like full on pulling himself just in the middle, like anyone around can see. That dude didn't give a f. Now, firstly, I commend that man for his level of social freedom. I personally definitely don't have that same level of social freedom. So compared to him, I truly am a fraud. But number two, again, if that man was to walk past me today, I would not recognize him. Even if he was jacking off in front of me, I still probably wouldn't recognize him. I just think it's a completely new person jacking off in public. Another exhibitionist just expressing their freedom, although that is actually illegal. So probably I'm not here encouraging people to touch themselves in public unless that truly is something that you want to do and you do understand the consequences of doing something like that, then sure. But again, if someone was doing something that outside of the ordinary, and I still wouldn't recognize them if they walked past me today, it just kind of shows that if you're just approaching someone on the street in front of people, no one gives a f about you and no one is even going to recognize you the day after. In fact, most of the time when you approach someone, if say she rejects you, she would forget exactly what you look like by the next day. Most of the time. People just don't even remember you. I remember there was a girl that Alex got brutally rejected by. He was practicing his ability to stand his ground in social environments one evening, early in his development. This is back in 2017, I believe, and he's talking to a girl and he had this goal in his mind that he wasn't allowed to leave interactions before the girl left the interaction. It was to teach him to handle discomfort and not prematurely eject from interactions. Now, this girl, he said something to her, I forget what it was, but it wasn't something too crazy. Maybe he said like you have a very strong personality or something, and this girl takes it the complete wrong way. Anyways, she is abusing him like you're a piece of shit, no one will fucking love you, you're ugly, like absolutely going off at him. Like traumatizing, but he had this thing in his head that he's like, oh shit, I'm not allowed to leave. And he's like begging her, like, please just leave me. Leave. I'm not allowed to leave. Just please leave. And she's like, no, f you, da da da. Just going off at him. Anyways, he gets abused by this girl for like 20 minutes straight, like brutally, just terrible. Now, understand that Australian girls are quite an aggressive bunch. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't some amazing Australians. Most Australian women are great people. You just meet the odd shit when you make enough approaches. And unfortunately, he just found himself in front of the wrong person that day. And obviously, she was having a bad day. Because I'm going to continue my story. So a few months later, Alex is at Prohibition, the local club, and he's hooked this chick and she's sitting on his lap and she's super cute. They're making out, like she's ready to go home with him. And there was this moment they kind of looked at each other and they're like, you look so familiar. What is it? Understand this girl's sucking his finger at the time. And it was that moment they both kind of realized, almost simultaneously, they're like, oh, it's you. And they realized that they were the same people who had that altercation all those months beforehand. So even in a situation where a girl might absolutely abuse you, think you're a piece of shit, that same girl a few months later was sitting on his lap and sucking his fingers, trying to go home with him. They both found it quite humorous and she'd obviously gotten over it and it didn't really matter. So even at that moment, Alex was completely traumatized by the situation. She was probably somewhat traumatized too and probably thought, this guy is a piece of shit, calling him ugly and shit. And then a few months later, she's like making out with him, trying to go home with him. I mean, it just shows that people really don't remember things. And even if they do, they get over them pretty quick and they're just kind of worrying about themselves. And that was just kind of a really funny story to push on the fact that no one cares. And let me give you another example of why no one cares. So if anyone remembers back in the day, I think it was back in 2015, Julian Blanc, one of the RSD instructors, had this media storm. He got completely cancelled, his YouTube channel taken down, people were calling him the most hated man in the world. He even got deported from Australia. I think it was in Australia at the time. And the dude just at the time thought it was the end of the world. I remember watching this video by him back in the day because I just thought this sounded like the most traumatic experience ever. Like the entire world is against you, the media hates you, etc., etc., right? He reckons the first time he went out after going through this public shaming and even going on CNN and having to apologize on national TV himself, he ends up going out one night. He's like, holy everyone's going to recognize me, da-da-da. In the end, no one said anything to him. No one recognized him. And he even told one of these girls he's talking to who was somewhat politically inclined, he's like, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta practice. And he just told her, he's like, my name's Julian Blanc. And then she's like, who? And that's when he realized that 99% of people don't give a fuck about anything. Like, they don't even care. Even if you read something that morning, you probably wouldn't even recognize the guy if you were to see him that evening. No one cares. And ironically, this same guy, this experience kind of moved him in a different direction. Now he's really working on, say, like shadow work and the self-development side of things. He's doing some really good work, but half of his clientele now are females. So this guy went from like this misogynistic, like the most hated guy in the world. Now, full disclosure, this dude was putting out some pretty inflammatory content onto the internet. I'm not surprised in the political realm of 2015 why he got cancelled. Like, he was one of the first people I think I've ever seen proper cancelled on the internet. And he was being called a misogynist. Even someone who went through something as intense as that aggressive public shaming, people all over the world like hating him. Like in Australia, there was like a protest to get him deported by a bunch of feminists. Like, this dude went through a pretty extreme experience, but then 10 years later, now half of his clientele and followers are women, and they're finding what he's teaching them incredibly beneficial. And I just think that's funny that no one in the end gives a about what you do. No one cares. Even if you go through the most traumatic experience possible and you think everyone in the world hates you, they don't. They don't really care. And this is a really long-winded way of describing that if something like that, you have to literally apologize on national television, and 10 years later, no one even recognizes or remembers what you do, and women absolutely love you, then you just approaching a single woman doesn't mean anything to anyone. Everyone's so hyper-stimulated these days that no one gives a The world is completely free. No one cares. So do what you want. So now that we've gone through the primary mental blocks that are holding you back, let's go through some of the practical steps that you can start taking right now in order to get over your approach anxiety for good. Number one, you need to implement this behavior into your repertoire, and that is moving your body before your brain can stop you. See, when it comes to cold approach, if you have approach anxiety, when you see an opportunity to approach someone, your brain is going to flood you with excuses, fears, imaginary problems and scenarios, which literally are never going to happen. So you need to train yourself to approach someone the second you see them, or the second the idea comes in your mind, like, oh, I'd like to talk to that girl. Move your body before your brain can stop you. Actually, just move your body. Don't let your brain get involved. Move your body in the direction of the person you want to talk to. And by the time your brain catches up, you're already going to have been next to her, so you may as well say something. Think about it this way. The physical act of standing up, walking, using your vocal cords to make noise, is it super draining? Is it difficult? Not at all. It's quite a simple task, but it's the emotional attachment we add to this behavior that makes it so difficult and draining. So if you can move your body before your brain starts thinking and making excuses, the easier it's going to become. The best place to be in is just train your body to go and approach the moment the idea comes into your head. Some guys like to implement what we call the 3-second rule. So within 3 seconds of seeing a girl that you want to talk to, you have to have already approached her. It's all about just taking action as soon as you possibly can. And again, there is no perfect opener. There is no perfect timing. The best thing you can do is just create the opportunity for yourself by approaching. You should be worrying about calibrating after approaching, not beforehand. A lot of the time we're thinking, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? How am I going to move it forward? No. You worry about all of that shit after you've actually approached her. Just go up to her and say something. Again, we have videos on this channel on the best way to approach and position your body and what to say in order to have the highest chance of starting a conversation with someone. So I'm going to link them in the description or up here, one of the two. You can look after this video. But again, we have videos on exactly how to do this. So guys, watch the videos if you're not feeling super confident on that and if that's holding you back. But the best place to be in is to just go for it before your mind can start coming up with dumb scenarios that are literally never going to happen. And if you're someone who does a lot of approaching in bars and nightclubs, another great behavior you can implement is just approaching the first person you see. So the moment you enter the nightclub or the bar, wherever environment you're going into, you just approach the first group you see, whether it be like a fucking granny, an old dude, a fat chick, a hottie, a group of 10s, whatever it is, you just approach the first person you see. This can be super beneficial for just starting up building some momentum throughout the night or the day, wherever the scenario is. Another thing you can implement is doing things like cold showers. So doing things like cold showers just get you used to just stepping into discomfort. And this is another behavior you can implement. So if you have a cold shower every single day, you just train your brain to step into discomfort. So it's like you know the cold water's coming, you go 3, 2, 1, and step into it. This is the exact same as approaching someone. You feel that discomfort, 3, 2, 1, go. And you just move your body before you can think yourself out of it. And if you just keep practicing, just go, 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 and taking action before your mind can start fucking you over, then this is the best place to be. But I understand that's easier said than done. So the next point is by far the most useful way for you to overcome approach anxiety. There is nothing even close to the benefits of progressive desensitization. This here is by far the best way for guys to get over their approach anxiety. What is progressive desensitization? This is you exposing yourself to higher and higher levels of social pressure in a way that you're not making too big of a jump between each scenario that you're putting yourself in. For example, let's say you start with just smiling at a stranger or making eye contact with a stranger. Then you go to waving and saying hello to strangers. Then you go to complimenting strangers. Then stopping a stranger, complimenting them, then moving on. Then stopping a stranger, complimenting them, having a quick 1-minute conversation, then moving on. So you slowly increase the difficulty of the social environment that you're putting yourself into. Okay, and this is by far the best way to do it. And this is the exact process that we use on our immersion programs to get all of our clients over their approach anxiety within an afternoon. I'm not joking. We have had a 100% success rate for getting guys over their approach anxiety and approaching like a boss within an afternoon on every single one of our immersion programs, because this process is so effective. I promise you, there is no better way to do it. So for the guys who've already made it this far, I'm going to give you a little gift right now. We actually have an entire mini course on progressive desensitization for the guys who have a lot of approach anxiety in our private Facebook group. So guys, if you haven't yet already, join our private Facebook group and message myself or Alex, and we will send you through our progressive desensitization mini course. Now, this mini course has every single exercise and the exact step-by-step process we take all of our clients through on our live 5-day immersion programs that gets 100% of our clients past their approach anxiety in a single afternoon. It's that powerful. So if you've made it this far, join the private Facebook group, message myself or Alex, and we will send you through that approach anxiety mini course so you can get over your approach anxiety for good. There is nothing better out there than this course. I promise you. So guys, join. It's free. Why the wouldn't you? Now, the final step that I'm going to give you guys today is to maintain a underlying level of social momentum. This means that you should be trying your best to be social as much as you possibly can. As simple as you just saying hi to everyone you walk past when you're on the way to the gym, waving at people that you're walking past, saying hello, starting a conversation with the cashier, or just talking to the stranger sitting next to you on the bus. Whether these people are receptive or not, it doesn't matter. As long as you are actively practicing being social and bursting the bubble that is separating you and humanity on a consistent basis. This will keep you in a state of higher levels of social momentum, making approaching far easier when you do see a hot girl that you want to talk to. Maintaining this momentum, also remind yourself over and over again that the world is friendly, people want to chat, and that you can express yourself as freely as you want. Finally, guys, approach anxiety never completely disappears. It's always going to be somewhere bubbling under the surface. Now, if you're going through a period of immersion, then you can really get your approach anxiety to a point where it has essentially no impact on your life, that you don't even notice it. But if you take, say, breaks from cold approach, then it's very likely this approach anxiety will return from time to time. And it's going to be your job to build processes for yourself that you know work for you personally in order to push through this anxiety, even though you are feeling it on a regular basis when it does pop up again. You can't remove it altogether, and I promise you that understanding this can take the pressure off you too, because then you don't have this unrealistic expectation of yourself to never feel approach anxiety again. Even if you do this for years, it will still be there from time to time. That is totally normal. But again, you can get it to a point where it is completely irrelevant and unnoticeable in your life. And there is no way to get over approach anxiety better than just taking action. The more comfortable you get approaching, the easier it becomes, the less anxious it makes you. And the more references you build of you approaching someone and your head not exploding and your dick not falling off, then the easier it's going to become to push past that anxiety when it does bubble up to the surface from time to time as well. In the end, you have two choices. Number one is let fear control your life, or number two, push through that fear, go for what you want, and start building the connections that you desire. Now, if you are serious about learning the best and most optimized way of meeting and connecting with beautiful women through cold approach, then make sure to click the link in the description below and jump on a free consultation call with myself, Alex, or one of our team members, and we can run you through our coaching programs. That is for the guys who are serious about becoming the most charismatic, confident, and attractive versions of themselves. Or for the guys who aren't yet ready for coaching, make sure to join our free private Facebook group. And if you want access to our Approach Anxiety mini course, then message myself or Alex in that group and we'll send you through the mini course. If you like our content, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share. Helps us with the algorithm, helps expose our content to more people. Either way, thanks for watching. I love you and I will see you in the next video. Let's fucking get it. Destroy your anxiety. Build social freedom, become the best version of yourself. We're all gonna fucking make it, brah. Let's go.